You know, it's like clockwork with these sociopaths. They never want to face the consequences of their actions. And so they'll pretend that they're the victim. I'm just going to have to sail into the sunset. We're seeing this with Elon Musk right now. And frankly, it's absolutely pathetic. Don't buy what he is selling, quite literally, and also when it comes to this routine that he's doing, that he's somehow stepping away from the government and he's going back to sleeping on the factory floor, everybody. So that's the sob story that Elon Musk is trying to sell the American people right now. I'm moving away from government. I'm not going to do any more political donations. I'm just going to fade into the background. I tried with Doge. I did my best. Elon Musk, you were still at Capitol Hill last week with the Congressional Energy and Commerce Committee, where you were talking about cutting Medicaid. You were with Donald Trump in the Middle East, where you met with the leaders of the UAE and Qatar and Saudi Arabia. You were with Donald Trump in the Oval Office when South African President Ramaphosa was there. There's literally nothing has changed other than the fact that you realize that your destruction of our government, the hostile takeover, the cruelty with which you've done everything has made you one of the most detestable human beings in the United States and the world, and your cars and your other companies are suffering as a result. So you just want to pretend. You want to try to act like you're no longer involved with Doge or anything and that you're just going back to Tesla. And it's total BS. But it's all coordinated, right? I mean, the Wall Street Journal article, "Angry Elon is back. That's good for Tesla. Now is the moment for Musk to channel his fury into executing on the company's long-promised pivot to driverless cars." You want us to believe all of this crap? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, look, here's what Elon Musk just recently posted. He had his was X account. He was calling himself Kekius Maximus. And then he changed it back to Elon Musk, and Grok is his background to see, I'm serious, everybody. I'm no longer Kekius Maximus. But here's what he posted. "I have come to the perhaps obvious conclusion that accelerating GDP growth is essential. Doge has and will do great work to postpone the day of bankruptcy of America, but the profligacy of the government means that only radical improvements in productivity can save our country." In other words, you're just going to use a bunch of gibberish word salad, big words, and be like, I tried, I saved us. That's where we are right now. He went from, we're going to cut $2 trillion from the deficit to $1 trillion in the deficit, to 500 million, to 150, to we're actually adding to the deficit, to, oh my God, we're adding 5 trillion to the deficit, to, oh my God, we may be adding 20 trillion to the deficit. But now it's, I tried, I did my best. I saved us for a few more years. No, you've absolutely made things worse. You made things much worse. Then you have other posts from Elon Musk like this, because he's trying to make us feel bad for him. He's trying to make us feel like he's got to go back to the factory to work after destroying our federal government. Let me be very clear also. Doge was never about efficiency. It was never about cutting the deficit. It was always about one thing: stealing your data. Taking your social security information, taking your medical records, getting all of the data aggregated with Elon Musk's crew, Mr. Big Balls, or whatever they called themselves. And once they did that, that's all they really gave a crap about. And the destruction was the point. They've destroyed it all. There's no efficiency. It's not efficient now that in FEMA, there's like very little staff there who can actually respond to emergencies. It's not efficient that at the National Weather Service or the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Agency, there aren't people who can predict the weather patterns and do the forecasting. It's not efficient when you don't have people answering the phones at the Veteran Affairs Suicide Hotline. It's not efficient when you're not helping 9/11 survivors and first responders, right? It's not efficient when you shut down the Department of Education and you steal school lunches from the mouths of low-income students. It's not efficient when you kick people off of Medicaid. It's not efficient when the Federal Aviation Administration is just made a total disaster of our airports with massive delays. The radars in Newark and Denver are shutting down. The flights are incredibly dangerous. Planes are crashing. There's nothing efficient. That's not what they were doing. He put the poison pill or the nuclear bomb, blew up the federal government, and now he just goes, I'm going back to spending 24/7 on the factory floor, everybody. I'm not sure why I'm doing a Mickey Mouse voice for that, but here's what he says. I'm not even sure if that was a Mickey Mouse voice. This is his real post from May 24th. So yesterday, back to spending 24/7 at work and sleeping in conference server factory rooms. I must be super focused on X and XAI and Tesla, plus Starship launch next week, as we have critical technologies rolling out, as evidenced by the X uptime issues this week. Major operational improvements need to be made. The failover redundancy should have worked, but it did not. Let's just take a look at where you've been, Elon. As Mark Pocan points out, Elon Musk was back on Capitol Hill today. This was a few days ago. Anyone actually believe he's stepping back? He's just hiding in the closet, but he's still in the room. Trump and Musk are doing everything to get tax cuts for themselves and ripping away your Medicaid and Medicare, even cutting healthcare for 14 million people and food assistance. That's what he was doing. The week before that, here's a photo of Elon Musk and MBS in Saudi Arabia. Elon Musk took that trip. Of course, you know that Elon was in the room with South African President Ramaphosa. So you see all of that. But Elon makes the sob video. He makes the selfie sob video, and he goes, in terms of political spending, I'm going to do a lot less in the future. I think I've done enough. Here, play this clip right here.
I think in terms of political spending, I'm going to do a lot less in the future.
And why is that?
I think I've done enough.
Is it because of blowback?
Well, if I see a reason to do political spending in the future, I will do it. I do not currently see a reason.
Okay. What about
You're smart enough to know when something's not working. Like when you can't focus at work, or when you're dragging by 2 p.m., or when your stomach feels like it's fighting you after every meal. Well, here's the thing. These aren't random symptoms. Your gut impacts everything from your digestion to your brain function to your energy levels. That's why we love Just Thrive Probiotic. Unlike other brands that make big promises but fall apart in your stomach, Just Thrive is the only probiotic clinically proven to arrive in your gut 100% alive. For you, that means real results like better digestion, healthy immunity, and more energy to tackle your day. But don't just take our word for it. Try Just Thrive Probiotic for 90 days and see how much better you feel. If you don't notice a difference, they'll refund every penny, even if the bottle's empty. Start your 90-day risk-free trial today at justthrivehealth.com and use promo code MIDAS to save 20% on your first bottle. That's justthrivehealth.com, promo code MIDAS.
Oh, Elon, we're supposed to feel so bad for you that you were, giving away like $1 million in different elections if people registered to, people were registered to vote. I want to share this with you as well. Message from Democratic Congressmember Greg Casar, who goes, Elon Musk is not gone, and we can't let Republicans pretend he is just because he's unpopular now. We have to keep up the pressure until we actually fire Elon Musk. And you see Jake Sherman, a Capitol Hill reporter, talked about how last week Elon Musk is on the Hill, meeting with the ENC Republicans, Energy and Commerce, on energy and AI. Notably, I think Medicaid's is in there as well. The $880 billion cuts are in there as well. Now, this was Donald Trump on a plane recently when he was asked, would you appoint Elon to any other position? Here's what Donald Trump said. Let's play the clip.
And they're working very closely with our secretaries and the people that are the heads of
Do you think you would appoint him to another position once his 130
Well, I
days?
would. I think Elon's great, but he also has a company to run, or a number of companies to run. You know, that he can do this, that he can find the time. He loves the country. That's why he does it. But we're in no rush. But there'll be a point at which time Elon's going to have to leave.
So he's an auto company.
That was on April 3rd. This is on April 3rd as well. Even when Elon leaves, will Doge still be around, was the question. Here, play this clip.
Even when Elon leaves and goes back to being CEO, will Doge stick around in some kind of capacity?
Yeah, it'll still Doge itself. Yeah, at
What
some
does that look
point.
like?
Just so you understand, I don't want to get it wrong. I want Elon to stay as long as possible. Number one, I like him. Number two, he's doing a great job. Number three, he is a patriot. That's why he's doing this, and he's, it's very costly for him. But so I want him to stay as long as possible. But there'll be a point where he's going to have to leave, and when he does, the secretaries will take totally over, and Doge will stay active. We have a lot of smart people. A lot of those people, I believe, are going to go into the agencies.
So, as I mentioned, Elon Musk is not going anywhere. Oh, here was Trump with Ramaphosa pointing out that it was the South African president Ramaphosa pointing out that Elon Musk was in the room. Here, play this clip.
Here today, I have many friends from South Africa, but many of those friends are not, they can't go back. Elon is from South Africa. I don't want to get Elon involved. That's all I have to do, get him into another thing. But Elon happens to be from South Africa. This is what Elon wanted. He actually came here on a different subject, sending rockets to Mars, okay? Yes. He likes that better. He likes that subject better. That's right. But Elon is from South Africa, and I don't want to talk to him about that. I don't think it's fair to him. That's right. But I will say that...
Now where do you think the idea is originating from that the white Afrikaners are given this without basically any paperwork at all? Their citizenship, path to citizenship, is fast-tracked into the United States. Who do you think is giving Donald Trump that information, that the white South Africans are going through a genocide, which they're not in South Africa? Now, there is gang violence in South Africa. It affects white people and black people around the same proportion if we're talking about white and black farmers as well. And it's a horrific thing that there's that gang violence and deaths of farmers in general, but it's not a white genocide taking place in South Africa. I mean, where do you think that's that's originating from? I want to give you just a few more data points before we go as well. In addition to the fact that the MAGA Republicans will be adding somewhere between 5 to 20, maybe even $30 trillion to the deficit. That's what we get with Elon Musk and Doge. I mean, this is the Wall Street Journal headline. The stark math on the GOP tax plan, it doesn't cut the deficit. But if you just take a look at the federal spending, just federal spending alone over the past few months, what are we now, over 100 days now, 100 and whatever we are, 120, 130, 140 days. Look at the federal spending. This is what Pantheon has to say. Doge is falling well short of its goal to slash federal spending, reducing at least one major near-term downside risk for the economy. Real-time data suggests that federal spending has been roughly 10% higher since Donald Trump was inaugurated than in the same period a year earlier. Okay, so 10% more month over month federal spending with Trump than Biden. So with all of the hostile government takeover, all of the firing of the IRS and the veterans and the National Park Rangers and the FAA and NIH and CDC and, and all these people, right? All those terminations, all the, there's more federal spending now. When you think about it, it's like, obviously, I mean, Trump's, using Air Force One and bring in the motorcade in these lavish trips and $1 trillion military budget and all of the spending at Mar-a-Lago, hundreds of millions of dollars for PR campaigns. that mock Mexicans and threaten them, that are being aired in English on Fox and also aired in English in Mexico, with like Kristi Noem praising Donald Trump and his bizarre ad campaigns that our taxpayer dollars are going to. Our taxpayer dollars are going to like torturing migrants. And there's less people being deported under Trump than under former President Biden, but these more propaganda kind of ways of doing it with that cost tens of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. And so the spending is up, not down. The deficit's this budget bill is about to make the deficit go up on the low end, 4 or 5 trillion. How do we know that? They have to raise the debt ceiling in the bill. It has to raise the debt ceiling by 4 or 5 trillion. That's one of the ways we know. And then of course, just listen to what, the Congressional Budget Office has said about how horrific this is. Then people are going to be losing their Medicaid and Medicare. So don't buy the crap that Musk is selling. And you can just see the coordinated effort, right? Wall Street Journal, writes the story. He's back. He's angry. He's pissed. He's going to go help Tesla again. He's going nowhere. He's doing the same crap that he's been doing before. Isn't it obvious? Well, let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
New Midas merch drop. Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more. All at store.MeidasTouch.com.